Stitch Roadies. I'm back in the saddle. Yes, just to give you an upfront weather report. It's supposed to rain all week, but it's perfect weather for me. Because when you travel to a friend's home who is so extraordinarily talented in not only their decor, but in the projects that they're working on, and they love all the things you love, it's almost like you can't get home fast enough and you want to just shake it all up at home. But the weather right now is perfect for this. It's supposed to rain off and on all week, kind of gray skies, which is absolutely perfect. But Scouter's Mountain now is just a riot of color. You've got the pines and the deciduous trees that are changing colors. Oh, it's a stunning view. And I'm loving being back in the beehive, which is my quilting room. Now, some of this will be a repeat for those of you who are Quilt Roadie subscribers, because I'm going to talk about the trip. The person that, the friend that we visited likes all the stuff I like. Yeah, all the cross stitch, all the wool, all the quilting. I mean, I truly could be her child if she was old enough. I would be following her around. Maybe I could be her sister. Yeah, Stitchy Sisters, huh? Stitchy Sisters. But she has an extraordinary knack for decorating and is so gracious. Besides the fact that we went to visit another friend who lives in North Dakota and who had just built a new house, who, although not a cross-stitcher, is a stitcher in terms of Americana and Sue Spargo, and is a big-time quilter. So we got to go visit her home, and then we visited a friend of a friend's home that was all of the above. All of the above. Oh, my brain still has not slowed down. It still has not slowed down. I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. But hold on, I've forgotten to bring something in here, and I want to be sure and show it to you, so hang tight. Okay, back. So I cross-stitched. Well, I can't say I was sitting and stitching, but my distractibility kept me moving around the room because her sewing room, her nest, is absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. I mean, if I was a piece of wool or a spool of thread, I would give up my life to live there. I know. It was just wonderful. And so when you're sitting there, you spend a lot of time looking around, and then you dig through piles of awesomeness. It's just so inspiring, and so your brain is just going on what you have at home and what you want to do and what patterns you need and what products you need. So even though I was stitching a lot, I didn't get a whole lot done because I was constantly up and down looking at something. But just to give you an idea, I did not okay, let me back this up a little bit. We were going to visit Stitchville on the way back to the airport, so we had rented a car, and once we left Karen's house, we left earlier in the morning so that we could stop at Stitchville on the way to the airport, because it wasn't that far from the airport, and it made no sense because the airport was about 3 hours from Karen's house. So we didn't want her to worry about that. And my friend Dale was just took the bull by the horns. She got the car rented, and she drove, which was, you know, as the fabric stalkers know, Robin and I in a car are going to get lost. Dale was right on it. And so we stopped at Stitchville. You would think I would have spent a small fortune, and I did spend some money there, but it's interesting. When you see the shop, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. And for whatever reason, on that particular day that we chose to stop there, so did a dozen other people. And since it was the morning, as with most businesses right now, staffing is an issue. So there was one sweet lady who was, when you see the video and how big it is, you'll wonder how she even kept her head above water. So she was the person to answer the questions, look up everything, help you find something, and run the register. That poor woman was like, she had her plate full, and by goodness, she was so sweet, even when in my brain I wanted to scream, because this is how I shop. Well, let me just say, in Stitchville, they have a system that is supposed to make finding the chart easy. And I'm a very visual person, and so the samples are hanging all over the shop. It's just amazing. And they have a little number in the corner. And when you see that number, you go up to the desk and they bring out a binder and they look up the number, and they can tell you exactly what chart that was and where it's located in the store. For Robin and Dale, they didn't seem to need that system. They walked around and looked through piles of charts and looked in areas and discovered designers, and so they were able to find or purchase what they wanted. For me, I see the chart and the number, and then I go up to the counter and I say, what chart is this? What number? Because I'm affected by the finished product. She didn't have time. She didn't have time to look things up because there was actually a line for the register. And since we were on a timeline, because mind you, we stopped on the way to the airport, don't do that. Make this a standalone visit where you don't have to worry about where you're going. That you have to be somewhere at a certain time. Don't worry about that. Oh, I hear that G is home. So they had a different way of doing, their purchases were different. Of course, I said before I even got there that I was not buying any charts. And in fact, I did not buy any charts, mainly because she didn't have time to look them up for me. And my main goal was to purchase fabric and to kit up one chart with the floss that was needed. And so I did that. Of course, I found some just pins. I just love the sunflowers. It's just another button company, but I love the sunflowers. And so I was able to find all of the floss for one kit, but but one of them, lily pad. And I'm going to check if I don't have that lily pad. It was kind of interesting because I asked her, do you have garden gate? Nope, we haven't been able to get it for a couple months. So those of you out there that have garden gate, put it in your safe. Put it in your safe. Yeah, so I got the floss for one project that will be a future project. And then I bought a variety of counts and fabrics. So I hope that the color shows up for you. But this is pewter. 28. It's a 28 count. And I just mainly picked out fabrics that I like the color. I didn't have any particular project in mind for it. This one is Laurel Green, and it's a 28 count. Mystic Gray, 18 count, Ada. This one is Star Sapphire, 28 count Jobelin. So you can see I did a little bit of a variety. And this one is Waxing Moon, 14 count. And it's kind of a stamped, you know, that stamped color. So that is all I bought at Stitchville. I know it was crazy because I said before I left Karen's house that I was not buying any charts. But you know what that means. I mean, I found, I was looking for specific charts and I would have bought them, but we had a certain time we were under, and that timeline could not allow for the time needed for the one staff member to look everything up. So I know I'm going back. I know I am going back there someday, next year. So what did I do? Oh, let me just talk to you a little bit about some birthday haul that I got. Karen gifted me this bag, and it's got a handle, and this is by Cross Stitch Fancies, and I'll put the link for this. But what was really cool is out of the same fabric was this, and you're gonna want to go on her site, because this, I know, look at it, looks like it's just a triangle, huh? But it has a snap, and it has flannel inside. There's like a scissor fob. There's a thing to hang, and this little tab has a magnet in it that'll hold your needle, and then it snaps together in this triangle. Isn't that adorable? Robin used this on the plane. She got one of those, and she used it on the plane. And then I got this really sweet Halloween bag. It is so cute. Some people are so talented with their zippers and their bags. But thank you, Karen. These will be treasured for sure. I have to tell you about our plane ride. I took, of course I don't have it up here to show you, but I took the Prairie Schooler Santa I was working on for my grandson with me as my plane project. And I was surprised. I thought, in fact, I took a second one, the one for my younger grandson, to start, because I was convinced that I would get it done. The first one I would get done and need to have a Prairie Schooler start one. finish one, you know, that whole thing. Surprisingly, I did not finish that Prairie Schooler Santa. I was bouncing around too much. I did make some headway on it, but that was my plane. I didn't work on it any other time on this trip except for when I was on the airplane. And so I'm making some headway on it. But at Karen's house, there were 2 projects that I took in their project bags. And one was the Blackbird design, Away We Ride, which I am doing with my friend Lori, Robin, and Sandy. And this is how far I got. You know, and it's kind of interesting. I'm posting it under the hashtag Away We Ride. And it's interesting how everybody approaches their cross stitch differently. But I have to tell you, so what happened on the plane ride was that Robin was stitching on it, and she spilled her coffee. Yeah, she spilled her coffee. And so the fancy floss, it got spilt on part of this project. The fancy floss along here, which is a kind of a dark brown, bled red. So there was a red tinge and stuff. And she is almost, I mean, she had the whole part here done, and yet so was she going to chuck the project? I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh. And you'll have to see on the blog, I will post a picture on the blog of what she did to salvage the project, because Robin is truly an extraordinary person, in that not only is she artistic and creative, she is pedal to the metal, find a solution. And I truly am blessed to be her friend, because she makes me worry less. I maybe drive her crazy, but she makes me worry less. Yeah, you know, we all have that friend. And when she sent the picture of what she did to her project to salvage it, I was like, wow, she is an amazing person. She really is an amazing person. So back to the plane ride. So here, when she got off, she smelled like coffee. I mean, it went down her pants and on her project table, and yeah. Oh, there were so many funny moments on the plane. So I took that project, and then the other project that I took with me was the Fat Quarter Shop mystery. And I am so far behind on that, but I am loving it. And so I started on the wheelbarrow while I was there. And this is a Fat Quarter Shop project. And I'm enjoying the, I mean, the border is intensive, but I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks. So that's the 2 cross-stitch projects I took with me to actually work at Karen's house. To walk around her home and see all the cross-stitch that she has done, on top of all the quilting and wool. And then she has a nice little pile of finished cross-stitches that she's not done anything with, which is made me feel better. Made me feel better. I have to show you this wonderful gift that, you know, creative people are amazing. in that they inspire us. They think outside the box, and I'm very much a box person. I can take a drawing and duplicate it, but to take it from my brain to the paper, that is not something that I can do. I mean, if everybody could do it, it wouldn't be special, would it? We went to another friend's house, Jolene. She actually lives in North Dakota. And since we were visiting my sister in Fargo, we stopped at Jolene's house. She had just built a brand new house, which was absolutely lovely. And I will have photographs and conversation about that visit on my Woolly Mammoth blog. And I'll put the link in the description box for those of you that don't know about it. If you're interested in the Woolly blog, you can subscribe and get a notification of when I do post something. I used to write on that blog every day, then it went to 5 days a week, and then it went to Tuesday and Thursdays, and now it's pretty much when I feel like it, on no particular schedule, much like my YouTube channels. It's kind of on my schedule. I never want to feel like the pressure of a job or like I'm failing somebody. So the schedule of my life is pretty fluid, if you know what I mean. But we visited Jolene, and Jolene and Karen and I had been roommates and at Tanca Verde in Tucson, Arizona, when we took a Spargo workshop. We all three of us are diehard Spargo projects. We have them all over the place. And she's another one of those very creative people. She used to own a quilt store and now is just enjoying her creative life. And when we went to visit, she had her table set with teacups and a dessert like when you visit for afternoon tea. It was, I mean, the Midwest, the people of the Midwest are filled with welcoming charm, I must say. And on each chair was a bag, a gift bag. And you're not going to believe this when I show it to you, but here we go. This was my gift. This was made out of an old sweater. She went to like a secondhand store and bought sweaters and then sewed these pumpkins out of it. I don't even know what to say. I mean, look at that. Is that crazy? There's a button on the bottom. That Jolene. And she gets things done. I mean, she kind of puts her nose to the grindstone and gets things done. Like, I have so many projects all over the place. She gets her projects done. I do eventually, but it takes me a while. And it was very enjoyable to visit with her again. It was very enjoyable to visit with her again. And then we went, the next day, we went into, we were in Minnesota, and we visited Karen's friend Carolyn. And her home was just gorgeous too. Totally different than Jolene and Karen's in that it had a real historic history to it, and she had multiple generations of furniture and things that were passed down, so it had a feel to it that was different. And she's also quilter, stitcher, and that will be a separate blog post also. And she was so lovely. And there we had like this peanut butter, cornflake bars and coffee. Oh, I tell you, I had to be rolled onto the plane. I had to be rolled onto the plane. But that will be a separate blog post in which I'll share that. I can't say enough. I had a great time. We had so much fun there. And I'm looking forward to the next adventure. When I got home, there were packages awaiting me. Some of them I shared on Quilt Roadies, but this particular one is by the Carolyn cross stitcher. She had gifted me the B-Skep scissor holder, and then I saw, you can follow her on Instagram. Her husband Peter does wood turning, and I am telling you, wood turning is an art form. And so when I saw that she had posted some things on Instagram for sale, I immediately contacted her, and those had arrived. So this, you could use this for anything you wanted, but look at that. They have it listed as like an Ort jar. I mean, it's stunning, stunning. Her husband is a craftsman, a real craftsman. And then this was so sweet, I couldn't pass it up. So look at that. I mean, it's wood turned, and you know, it holds my little scissors if I wanted, or I could put straw flowers in it. It's just such a sweet little vase, so I have it in my bedroom where I stitch most of the time. Well, I think I'm ready to share Stitchville with you. Enjoy. Know that they have a website. I'll put that in the description box. And, you know, you can send, you can ask for them to send you the chart if they have it by the number. If you see a chart with a number, you can contact them. And they have a wide variety of fabrics. They're still missing Garden Gate. They're still missing Garden Gate. Everybody's missing Garden Gate. Okay, enjoy the video of Stitchville and plan your next trip there, either online or in person. Love you guys. Let's go into Stitchville. You know you want to. Here we go.